Sup guys, I'm Kruger and I'm here with Talk Games.
How's it going, guys?
And we'll be discussing the Thanksgiving development update blog that just came some days ago. Yeah, so let's just take a look at it. So on the first picture we have what it looks like to be a...
Like a refugee chamber. It almost looks like, you know, these kind of things are scattered around the mining complex. And I think what we see in the picture is bags. So we could only guess that there's probably med bags in there, maybe a gun or two. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably too like
maybe a legendary gun.
Yeah, probably. Like it would certainly be like a chamber for medics and other stuff that could be quite rare. Maybe even like a small puzzle to get in. Like they've written in the text that you know, it's quite awesome. Like they've just made like an example of what a vault or like in a room in a mine could be. Which I mean, to be honest, it looks great already. Like the idea of it sounds cool, but yeah, let's just hang on and see what it actually will use for these mines that will be interactive.
Yeah, I wonder if like they'll be open or whatever, or you'll be able to close them. Because I mean, you could literally just stay in there. You could just literally stay in one of those chambers or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like it could be abused or obsessively overpowered.
Yeah.
Since, you know, if you could just lock yourself in, that would be so overpowered and like the zombies couldn't even get into you. Of course, you would still depend on having food and you wouldn't be able to get out. So yeah, that actually really sucks.
Yeah, there's kind of a double-edged sword there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, if we just move on, this is actually quite interesting. It looks like a some sort of computer.
Yeah, it looks like almost a see here. It almost looks like you need a password to get in.
Yeah, and you can
Like
actually see some programs as well. If you just watch on the left of the screen here, you can actually see some programs popping up after. Yep, there they go. The programs are there. Okay, so that's actually quite interesting. So that might be our first impression of a computer in that matter. So we would be kind of being interacted with, like we could interact with it. So Talk Games...
Yeah, like a real computer.
Yeah, exactly. But Talk Games, imagine putting coding into this computer in that matter, just to code that matter. Be coding that matter in that matter.
That'd be very insane.
Or like just... So we'd be playing this game, and we'd just be playing another game inside the game.
Exactly, like you play like a game, or you play Dead Matter inside Dead Matter.
Oh, big brain,
Insane.
big brain.
That'd be so weird.
Yeah, but like, I mean, the fact that it will have computers is quite awesome, as well as we have working elevators. It's, you know, it gives the feel of the real world vibe.
Yeah, the interactivity just gives it, kind of breeds, like you said with the elevator, it kind of gives it some like life.
Yeah, exactly.
Games you may not be able to even interact with, you know, a door, or maybe that's as far as it can go. Whereas here you're interacting with computers, you know, elevators.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then more in the devlog, you'll see even more interactability.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas you can, you know, push them open.
But imagine like if you could use these computers for like maybe surveillance.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you had cameras around your base, or like cameras in the neighborhood or some shit like that. That could be really awesome. Like if you could use them for surveillance.
That'd be a great security like feature that you could implement into the game.
Or like you could just like... Yeah, but like if you could do most of the stuff as you can do it on a real computer, like on this platform, it would be quite usable for like a lot of stuff actually, like for security in particular.
Exactly.
Yes, if we scroll down a bit, we have the new model for the M416, which is made by Tag Arrow. Just look at those sweets, man. Look at those sweets.
even got like the barrels too, where you attach the side, like the flashlight, or wherever you see how it's different with each barrel that gets longer, which is really cool. And even
Exactly.
got a 30 clip, a 15, and you got a 10, which is insane.
Like all the details the devs put into this game, it's crazy. Like all the weapon parts, it's just insane. Texture of the guns, but like just imagine, like this gun in particular is so gives me like vibes from CS:GO, like the M4A1,
Yeah, that's what it looks
or like just like an assault rifle from like most games, and if it's now it's written that it's legendary, and I mean it could be a really OP weapon that will be used for sure. Like it's a military weapon. It's easy seen. This is for sure a military weapon.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it's just amazing how they work around the stuff. The devs are really doing their best. So yeah, let's keep moving. And as we see here, we have Gunslinger working on programming the doors. So basically, you can push them in. So if you're running inside a hospital, you will just be running against the door, and it will open by itself. If it's turned the right way, of course. Otherwise, you'll just be standing there awkwardly.
And even like the zombies, if they're chasing you through that hospital and you push one of those doors open, they'll just push it open too. Which
Yeah,
is
exactly.
A really cool feature.
That would actually bring some interesting experience. Imagine actually if you could like put a pipe or like a pole or some stuff into the handle. Like
That'd be
if
awesome to like a door jammer.
if you could door jam stuff. That could be pretty awesome if that would be possible.
Oh, definitely.
Like so you could door if you were in the hospital and you ran from the zombies, and then after some time you could door jam one of the stuff, and maybe it could be like or it could have like a destructive system around it, like so the pipe wouldn't last for so long if there were zombies hitting up against the wall, so it would destroy quite quickly, but it would at least give you some time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Kind of like a stalling.
that would be quite cool if we have that. So yeah, let's move on. Now, very exciting part here. For one of the first times, we had these occupations. You remember them, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, and there have been like some discussing about some of them being removed, and some of them just, getting nerfed or getting buffed, or like they aren't really sure about the occupations yet. But just look at these sweet perks, like all of them. Even the negative ones, and we'll come to that in a second. But let's start with the positive ones. So yeah, just look at them. Like, they are literally OP as hell. Most of them. You can, if you want to be an RP server and you want to be a Negan guy from The Walking Dead, you could just say, pick this perk here, and that would definitely help you being the Negan you want with your bat, Lucille. You want it to be a cook, right?
Yeah, that was a cool perk to see.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just look at it. What do you think that the cook like could provide?
I mean, maybe instead of you kill an animal and you just eat its raw meat, maybe you can cook it into a steak, or maybe you could find certain ingredients. Maybe you grow in a greenhouse, and maybe you can use that to put on a dish or something. Or
oh yeah,
there's so many possibilities. We don't even know if you can.
Maybe
you can even like add ingredients or.
Imagine, you remember the thing where the dev said that they would like all of the material from the animals to be usable, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if you were a 5-star cook, you could probably make a dish of like nearly every single piece of the animal's parts.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy. It's just like there's so much.
You can
variety.
provide food for so many.
They had like the macaroni barrel, or whatever. Maybe you could use the macaroni to make something, or maybe you could all the stuff that the canned foods and maybe combine it to make something. I don't know. It's just a really interesting thing. That's why I was like really drawn to that, because you can cook advanced food. I mean, you can even cook in dead matter. That's insane.
Yeah, like just overall, this game is like the game that we've been waiting for. Like literally, if we just look at the progression over the last 2 years, because I've been a bagger for like 2 years, and Talk Games and I have known each other for like what I don't know, like some months now, like 8 months or so.
Yeah.
And basically we have always been discussing like all the shit that will happen throughout Dead Matter, and just how exciting it gets each vlog and block that comes out.
Oh yeah, there's so much new stuff that they just throw at us. It's like, oh my gosh, there's
Yeah, exactly. And like
small as something as you can push a door open, how it is in real life. I mean, it's so detailed, and I think it just shows that a layer of depth and like replayability and kind of teamwork too, you know, like this whole perk system, it kind of into earlier with the blood type.
Yeah,
Whereas
exactly.
you can be an O negative, but you can give all your blood to everybody, but you can only take one. But again, it's all about teamwork, maybe combining someone else, an EMT, and maybe it's, you know, they work together. Whereas other games, it's more of like you're kind of just your own person. Whereas here, it feels like get into next with the negative perks. You know, maybe you have a guy with whatever that may be, but maybe he has 2 other perks that maybe you don't have. You can help him out. So it really is just I don't know. It's kind of it's confusing in a way, but it's like
it seems cool.
Super cool how they're just combining all these, and this is just the perk system. I mean, these are only a couple things that we talk about, and there's 100 other things, literally, not figuratively, that are just insane.
But yeah, like it will be quite exciting if you look at the negative perks, right? Like just look at stuff like let's just see, like the allergies. Imagine what they could be doing for the gameplay. Like you could have some extra perks, that's right, and maybe you could be able to take some OP stuff, maybe like a party boy or girl, less likely to get drunk. You know, maybe in some games booze and alcohol is used as a form of aspirin, since you get drunk, and that stimulates your nerves. But like there's so much juicy stuff. Like if you wanted to be a 5-star cooker, you could also take the Countryborn, so you can identify poisonous plants easily, so you won't be cooking stuff.
See, that's a good one too, is like identify poisonous plants easily. So it's like, okay, well, we're not going to send someone who doesn't have that trait out to go scout for stuff. We're just going to send him out.
Yeah,
so it's kind of a team effort. It's really just amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have all of these positive perks, and people, you would only want like one guy that's to be a donor, or like maybe 2 guys, because then otherwise you can't really give him blood to himself. But like a O negative is the best form of blood type you can have, since you can give it to all of the others, like A and B and AB. And just imagine, like, if you take this O negative, you wouldn't really need the EMT, you know, like, or like the thick skin, so you're less likely to bleed when you're injured, because you would just get more blood. You could have a guy that could provide you blood. You could just squeeze him like a lemon. Take all of his blood. But imagine, like, if you meet somebody as well with the blood type O negative, you would want to keep them, like, even if they were against you, like in PvP situations, you would want to keep them.
There's kind of there's like, which is kind of just insane. There's so many layers to just one perk. You got a guy that says, oh, I'm O negative. You might not want to kill me, guys. I'm O negative. And maybe you keep him. And maybe that's something else that could play into thing you have. And that's it's so insane.
Yeah, and also like the negative perks, they also combine really well with the with the positive ones. Like all of these allergies or lactose intolerant and stuff like that, or like diabetes with the insulin. All of these perks, they are great in a way, but I think maybe they should be like randomized. So like you can choose to get some points if you have a random negative perk, because I don't think that you should be able to pick, because obviously there's some that's better than others.
Yeah, but maybe the worst negative perks, maybe those carry maybe just for say 3 points instead of maybe 1 point you can use towards another perk. So maybe, you know, you need to take insulin, or maybe you need sugar all the time, but maybe you can get 2 or another perk or save up for something. We don't know how many points it takes to turn into like a positive, how many positive like points it is needed, but lactose intolerant, okay, I mean, not a huge deal or anything. Or maybe being obese, yeah, that's not the greatest, but you're not needing something. You're not needing to, you know, it's not a life or death. Like if you have a peanut allergy, you consume something with nuts, you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of weird.
But again, remember, this is like an inclusion in the game, and you know, it's subject to change as well, as it's written down here as well. Like it's work in progress, and like some of the stuff might get polished or like changed, and of course I think we'll be seeing a lot more perks in the future.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
yeah, but like the perks
positive, but the negatives for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like the positive, like also the positive, and maybe there should be more negative, and it's just really good to see them providing with like these kind of informations, since, you know, identify poisonous plants. Now we know that there will be poisonous plants in the game. Now it's planned.
Exactly.
Like, or that you know, it's subject to change, but still, like, they might provide us with poisonous plants, and we could use that for other stuff as well. Like, imagine if you could poison the food, and you could give it to somebody.
What if you had, and I was just wondering, if you had fast metabolism, which character needs to eat more, but you have also slow metabolism?
Oh,
maybe it would
so
balance out.
Yeah, maybe they would change out.
Yeah, who knows?
But maybe,
I mean, it's just interesting.
Maybe I think the negative perks will provide a bigger, like, a factor towards the character instead of the positive. So if you had this like slow metabolism and fast metabolism, the fast metabolism would be like extending a bit, but it would be like reduced because if you have the slow metabolism. Or as soon as you take slow metabolism, it would be crossed out on the fast metabolism, so it wouldn't be possible to take.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, it could be that either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but let's just move on.
To be seen.
So yeah, here we can see an example for the slow metabolism and the dexterity and the endurance, which is quite cool. As we can see, this guy actually is he had choose the occupation as a cook. Wait, was that an occupation before? I don't remember that.
I don't know. I never really like saw any. I didn't see a list of occupations.
There used to be like
or maybe I did.
Like an army, and you could be an army guy, a police cop,
or like a medic or something.
Yeah, exactly,
yeah.
and a doctor, and so. But I don't remember just seeing the
cook. Yeah.
But look, like slow metabolism, you need to eat 50% less. Look at that perk. It's really crazy. Like you could provide. That could really help out. Like if you're more people, because you know there's not infinite food. There's not infinite food.
Oh, that'd be great in the winter.
Yeah, exactly. Like yeah, also in the winter, where you need more food. That would be so great. Oh yeah.
Or you could help your clan or your group of friends, stock up on food while you only eat half of what is needed, while your other where you could put that half food and save it. Maybe you could store it, or maybe you could give it to someone. Because again, it's eat more than 50%, or need to eat more than 50%. So you could either store it or give it to someone else.
Yeah, that would be cool indeed. Alright guys, that'll wrap it up for the first part of the video. Stay tuned for the second.